It is 23 minutes after the hour. Head basketball coach of the Sylacauga Aggies, Josh Golden, joins us. And, Coach, happy 4th of July to you, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Same to you.
Man, you guys have been busy already in the summer with Aggie basketball. Talk about it a little bit.
Well, we, right now the state of Alabama High School Athletic Association allows us to compete for 7 days during the summer. And we take full advantage of all 7 of those days. Actually, next year they're changing it and it's going to 4 days you can compete. But this summer, during the whole month of June, we competed in competitions against some local teams, some out-of-state teams. We played 5A, 6A schools all around the state, as well as schools from Florida. And we had a successful summer campaign. We went 20-3 during the summer, and kids played really hard, committed themselves to being there. And it was great for us because we have so many kids that we lost off last year's team, and we got a bunch of guys that don't have a ton of varsity experience. So for those guys to get to play that many games together was really big for us from an experience standpoint. So we're excited about the summer. Still have a ton of work to do. Losing all 5 starters off last year's team, we got a lot to replace, but we're excited about the direction it's headed in.
A Final Four Aggie basketball team who lost to the eventual 5A state champion for, I think, 100 years in a row. You know, you guys win a big game at Alabama State to advance to the Final Four with 5 seniors, your 5 starters on the floor, and Winona's just a great basketball team. So you rebuilt this year, and not a whole lot of people are expecting a whole lot because of losing everybody. Your thoughts on this year's club?
Well, I think that that's natural for people when you lose 5 starters and then you lose a couple of key reserves off the bench like we did. People always want to use the word that you just used, and that's rebuilding. And just don't tell that to this year's senior class, because we have a group of kids this year that even though we only have 2 kids returning off that team last year, and those are Taz Lomas and TJ Green, both had big impacts on last year's team. I think Taz had 15 points in the Final Four game against Winona, and TJ had 9. But then all those other kids are kids that were on our junior varsity team, but they had a very good junior varsity season. They were 19-1 as JV players, and they feel like they're ready to make that transition from JV to varsity. And after watching them this summer, I think so too. It's going to be, I tell a lot of people, it's going to be a different looking team. Last year, you had so many offensive weapons that on any given night, a different kid could go get you 20 plus, whether it was Chris Oden or Dontarius Riggins or Quan Threed or Justin Browning, even Craig Cunningham, even Cohen Burke had the games where he came off the bench and had a ton of points. So it's going to be maybe not quite the offensive firepower as last year's team, but this group certainly is committed to defending. They go rebound, what we call gang rebound, and all 5 of them go in there and really rebound, and they play within the framework of what we do, and they know what we're looking to do offensively. So I think that it's going to be a different looking team. It's going to certainly still be an exciting team that likes to guard and play up tempo, and we've got a lot of guys that can come in this year and have another really good season. So I'm excited about him.
Head basketball coach of the Sylacauga Aggies, Josh Golden, joins us. We're going to continue to talk with Coach Golden in a minute. When we come back, we're going to talk about basketball camp and a big fundraiser that's going to be taking place, and more on Sylacauga Aggie basketball with second-year coach Josh Golden. We'll continue that in just a minute here on TV 47 and the Alabama Cable Network. It's 27 minutes after the hour, mid-90s today. More with Coach Golden right after this. Head basketball coach Josh Golden of the Sylacauga Aggies, our guest here on Daybreak, and basketball camp next week. There's a lot of camps in football and basketball, and this is actually a youth basketball camp, right?
Yeah, that's right. We're doing a youth basketball camp up at the school next week. It'll be Monday through Thursday from 9 a.m. until noon, and we're going to have it be open to kids ages 5 to 14. And what it'll be is we'll have some of our players work in the camp, and then we'll also have some of our coaching staff there as well. And it will work on in the morning. We'll work on individual skills and drills and help kids with just the fundamentals of basketball, passing, shooting, handling the ball, talk about defense. And then in the second portion of the day, we'll have some different competitions, your hot shot, free throw, 3-on-3, 5-on-5, knockout, and hopefully it'll be a good experience for the kids. We want to get the basketball camp to be something that kids in Sylacauga and surrounding areas look forward to coming to every year. And so this is our first year of it. We had originally planned on doing it from 9 a.m. until 4 p.m. And after seeing our numbers for this first year, decided to go back and adjust that. And so we've cut the cost to $65. Campers will receive a T-shirt, and we'll have concessions open. And hopefully it'll be a time for where kids can come work on basketball and get out of the house and expend some energy. And so that'll be next week. And we'll have registration will be open. You can come that morning. If you haven't been able to register yet, you want to come and get there a little bit early, parents can come fill out the registration form that morning, and we're looking forward to having a good camp.
Well, beginning at age 5, kids are so indoctrinated into college basketball and NBA basketball at such a young age, and everybody's got a dream,
That's right. Yeah, they today it's on TV everywhere. That, and then you've got kids that probably know more about it than I do that are able to look up YouTube and different highlight videos and all that kind of thing. So it's certainly a very popular sport. And this year they said the NBA Finals was one of the more watched ones in recent history. And so everybody wants to be an NBA player, as I did when I was that age. It was my dream until I realized that that probably wasn't going to happen, and so then I decided I wanted to be around the game and go into coaching. So we're excited about doing it and excited about giving the kids a chance to come out and work on their individual skills, and plus gives me a chance to look at some of the young talent around the area.
Yeah. Coach Golden, not a stranger to high school basketball. His second year at Sylacauga High School as a head guy. What have you found in Sylacauga as far as support of basketball overall, including the Sylacauga Aggie program?
Well, I just think that, first of all, this is a community that rallies around all of its sports teams. And this has been a situation for me in my first year where you couldn't ask for more support than what I've been given. And that goes all the way from our administration to the faculty at the school, the student body, and then just people around the community, small business owners and just fans in general have been so supportive and have always had such kind words to say to me in my first year. And when we went to play last year in the Final Four at the Civic Center, it had been the first time since 1988 that Sylacauga had been to Birmingham, and I was just very fortunate to come in and coach such a talented group. But there was an article in the Birmingham News, and they talked about the fact that Sylacauga had more fans than any other school there. And you had some 6A schools with 2,500 people in the school, and 5A Sylacauga comes in and has that the section that they allotted for us was packed from top to bottom, and that just kind of shows how the people are here. If you go out there and you put a good product on the floor and the kids work hard, they're going to come out and support it. And so that's been something to me in my first year that's been really nice to walk into.
Of the players who returned from that Final Four team last year, what do you hope that they gain from that experience?
Well, I think that there's a couple of things that come to mind. First of all, again, we have 2 players. We dressed some junior varsity kids late in the season that came in and joined us, but really that was there for that whole journey. We have Taz Lomas and TJ Green. And so the first thing is this, it wasn't always smooth for us during the season. We had our bumps in the road and some times where things didn't always go the way that we wanted it to, but they kept working hard. They never became overly frustrated and said, well, maybe we're just not going to be quite as good as people thought, and the work ethic stayed the same, and they even picked it up a notch after losses. And then the second thing seems like it's something that's very simple, but I want them to remember the experience from last year. Until you have gone and competed in a Final Four and been put up at the Sheraton there and gone through and been able to go see the Alabama High School Basketball Hall of Fame and seen the way that you're treated when you're there and experience that, you don't know what it's like.
Kind of like royalty, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it really was for me too. I was it was a dream come true. I think everybody, whether it's player or coach, that's something they aspire to get to. And there's a lot of great players and great coaches that never get the opportunity to experience a Final Four. So I want the guys to remember that and keep reminding these younger guys what we're working towards, because that is still the goal for us. Even though we lost a lot, we want to try to get back there, and I want them to keep reminding these guys, look, even though, you know, this preseason conditioning program, it's so difficult, or the 2.5-hour practices, it's going to be worth it, because if you get there and you get back to that point, there's nothing like it. And so I hope they can remember the experience that we had and keep reminding those guys to keep pushing, and that the rewards are going to be worth it in the end.
A little bit of tweaking of the area with the realignment of classifications this year.
That's right. Yeah, we've dropped 2 teams that came out, and we've added 1. We still keep Talladega, who is our biggest rival in the area, and then we still keep Shelby County in the area. But Briarwood and Chelsea have dropped out. Chelsea's moved to 6A, Briarwood's gone to a different area, and Chilton County has come into the area. Mm-hmm. So it's a 4-team area instead of a 5-team area, and that's allowed us to make some changes to the schedule and play some teams that we didn't play last year. We've got Benjamin Russell back on the schedule, mm-hmm. home and away, which we're excited about. Mm-hmm. So certainly going to be a very competitive area. Don't know much about Chilton County. Shelby County returns everybody, and Talladega's a lot like us, lost a bunch, but they're year in, year out. They're always really strong.
You talk about some knockdown, drag-out basketball, great competition. That rivalry just continues to get better with Sylacauga and Talladega.
Yeah, I was told about that when I came in here, that you know, the place would be packed when we played them and how the atmosphere would be. And I think this year when we played them at home the first time, at the start of the second quarter of the girls' game, they were holding people outside. You couldn't, I mean, you couldn't, they wouldn't let them in. It was 1 in, 1 out. Mm-hmm. And so this year, if you plan on attending that game, get there early, because there's people at home need to know that. I didn't believe it until I saw it. Mm-hmm. And it's just, there's a lot of respect between the 2 teams. I have a lot of respect for Coach Chucky Miller. But when we get out there, it's a war, and it was all 4 times we played this year. So it's exciting.
You're growing this young basketball team for your second year, and trying to get more and more people involved in it. And that brings us to another point in our conversation. You got a big fundraiser coming up soon.
Yeah, on Monday night, the same day as the first day of our basketball camp, it'll be Monday evening, July 9th at 5:30. We are going to get together and kind of have a kickoff to the start of what we're calling the Sylacauga Basketball Tip-Off Club. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be at Marble City Grill, and we'll have free wings and hors d'oeuvres and stuff like that. And we're just asking people that are interested in becoming a part of the Tip-Off Club to come out there and show their support. And I'm hoping that we've got a bunch of folks that will be able to come out there and meet and just talk Sylacauga Aggie basketball like we're doing right now. And in order to join the club, we're asking for a minimum donation of $100. But if you don't have that night, come on out there and enjoy some fellowship. And it's something that I think is long overdue. Mm-hmm. And that what we want to do is get this club up and growing, and send out weekly newsletters to the members of the club, and recognize them at some games. We've talked about trying to, if we can get it big enough, have a hospitality room at the games for all these people, and just people that are genuinely fans of Sylacauga basketball, allow them to come out and show their support, and then also find ways to be able to keep them involved with the program throughout the year. So we're excited about that.
Of course, the Marble City Grill right there on Broadway in Sylacauga, and you're invited to be a part of that, and be a part of the startup of the Tip-Off Club supporting Sylacauga Aggie basketball. Coach Josh Golden, in his second year at the helm of the Aggie basketball program. And as we look at athletics overall, including Sylacauga High School basketball, you're gotta be, as head coach, you're always in a fundraising mode. You know, it takes a lot of money to operate a program.
Yeah, that's right. It does. There's certain things that you have to pay for that people don't really think about a lot of the time. Every time you take that bus to go on the road, you have to do that. Late in the season when we would go, and both games when we played at the regional at Alabama State, we stayed overnight, and because we played early the next day, and that's certainly not free. So we're always trying to think of ways to put money into the program, and certainly when you have good teams, that helps because people want to come out and watch. But it's something that you always have to be mindful mm-hmm. of, and you know, whether it's this or we have corporate sponsors during the season that we put signs up in the gym, and certainly if the folks out there want to do that, they can contact the school, contact me, and we would love to have more corporate sponsors. But like I said, it's been here in Sylacauga, the people have been so supportive and have been so willing to reach out and do what they can to help the basketball program that it's made my job a lot easier.
A lot of holiday tournaments, preseason tournaments. Sylacauga participated in some of those last year. What about in the fall of 2012, the winter of 2012?
Yeah, we are. I'm glad you asked about that because we're excited to get back our tournament here at Sylacauga this year. That's something that they had done in the past, and it had been a 4-team tournament a lot of years. We are actually doing an 8-team tournament this year in November that'll be taking place the Saturday, Monday, and Tuesday before Thanksgiving. That's November 17th, 19th, and 20th. And we'll have 8 teams in that, including Thompson High School out of Birmingham will be there. Locally, we'll have Childersburg will be in that tournament. We will also have some teams that are Talladega County Central will be in that tournament. We'll have Montford coming to participate in that tournament. So we feel like Anniston and feel like it's going to be a tournament that's going to have a good mix of small school and big school teams, and everything from 2A to 6A schools will be there, and it'll be 3 days of exciting basketball with 8 teams in it, and on Tuesday we'll crown a champion. And so that's something that last year I wanted to do when I took the job, but the schedule had almost already been filled, and a lot of teams had filled their tournaments, and that's the biggest thing that people said is we want to get that tournament back. We want to be able to have, whether kids are getting out of school for Thanksgiving from college, come back in town, we want to be able to do that tournament. So we're doing that, and then we'll also go to Childersburg's tournament, and we'll have the county tournament. So we're excited about that.
Should Sylacauga and B.B. Comer's football teams not play each other at the end of the regular season? It would raise a lot of eyebrows. Your thoughts on the B.B. Comer Sylacauga basketball rivalry? It's kind of waned in recent years.
Well, B.B. Comer is actually another team that's in that tournament that'll be coming this year, and we still play home and away. We played this year. When I got here, I called Coach Greer and told him that I thought that was a rivalry that needed to continue from what I was told, and so we are glad to have B.B. Comer back on the schedule. When we played them this year, both times we had really good crowds, and they're going through a little bit of a rebuilding process as well, where they've got some really good young kids. And I tell you what, last year when we played all 3 times, we won by a pretty good margin. We played them this summer, and the game was a lot more competitive. And Coach Greer is doing a good job with them over there. And I've talked to people that can remember back a long time ago where B.B. Comer used to get the better end of that rivalry, throughout the course of a couple of years span. And you and I were talking before about when Comer won the championship back then. So in high school,
next year's team, which wasn't so good.
In high school basketball, it's not like college where you get to go recruit your players.
Yeah.
You've got to coach what's there, and so it's always that you're going to go through times where your talent's going to be up and your talent level is going to be down. But regardless, the Comer rivalry is one that needs to take place, and I'm excited that we're able to play them again.
Coach Josh Golden, the head basketball coach of the Sylacauga Aggies, for a couple of more minutes. And, of course, the basketball camp, the youth camp for youngsters coming up beginning on the 9th of July. And then the fundraiser meet and greet down at Marble City Grill begins that night as well. So next week is a big week for high school basketball, and it's changed so much in years past as to what you can and can't do during the off season.
Yeah, that's what I've had a lot of people tell me. As long as I can remember, during the summer, you've been able to do some stuff, whether it be the days of competition have changed up some, but now during the month of June, you can get ready for those competition dates, and you can't hold mandatory practices, but the kids show up and to get ready to be able to compete.
Is there a mandatory, non-mandatory kind of thing?
Well, it's not mandatory, but they're going to show up and they're going to be there. And so yeah, I mean, this, like I said, we played 23 games this summer, and it's almost like a season. You're playing 3.
Experiences can't do anything but help.
It really does. You're playing 3 games a day. Sometimes when we went down to Troy, we went 9-0 at their camp, and they had a tournament on the final day, so we played 5 games on that day in one day. And there, you get to, coaches, it's so cliche to say you've got to be able to go through adversity, and everybody says it, but you truly do. During the summer, you get to experience some of that because when you're playing your 4th game of the day, kids are tired, legs are tired, and you have to battle through some things. And it was really, really good for us this year because of all those seniors that we lose. And, as well, at Sylacauga, we encourage our kids to play every sport they can. And football and basketball run into each other, so we've got some kids that now will be in football mode, and hopefully football team can make a deep run into the playoffs. And so we don't know when basketball will get those kids again, so it's good to be able to do a lot of stuff with them in the summer and for them to get that experience. And we're certainly excited about the direction the football team's headed in, and Coach Griff does such an outstanding job with them, and they're looking to have a big year this year as well. So excited about I enjoyed the summer competition in basketball, but excited to get to be a fan for a little bit here in the fall.
Yeah, 2 big events we want to capsule this morning with Coach Josh Golden beginning on Monday.
That's right. Yep, we look forward to it again. The basketball camp, doors will open at 8 a.m. If parents need to go to work and they want to drop them off at 8 o'clock, the camp won't actually start till 9, but they can feel free to come in and do that and pick up at 12 o'clock, and that'll be Monday through Thursday. $65 is the cost, and you can register up until 9 o'clock Monday morning. And then again, the Marble City Grill will have the opening event for the tip-off club. That'll begin at 5:30, and we'll have some free hors d'oeuvres and different food and some live music as well. And should be an exciting week for Aggie basketball. Looking forward
of course, if you're a parent or a grandparent of say a 5-year-old, and can they stay there and watch and stuff,
well,
or you've got supervision, plenty of?
Yeah, we've got tons of supervision, and we actually have on Thursday. We'll allow parents to come in around the end of it and watch some of the different things the kids have been doing.
A finished product?
Yeah, that's right. But we'll have, especially this year with the number that we have, we'll have plenty of supervision, and they'll be in good hands. Of course, we'll have a contact number for every kid that's there, and if we need to get in touch with them for any reason, we can certainly do that. So it'll be a safe environment and a good opportunity for those kids to come work on basketball at a young age. So
if folks are watching this morning, they'd like more information before next Monday, which direction do they need to go?
They can. We've got some information up at the school office. They can call me as well.
Have a web page or on Aggie basketball?
We do have that up there right now. I'm not sure that this camp has been loaded on that during the summer, but we have some information in the office during the school year. Carol Sprayberry and our staff up there, the Aggie Network, do a great job of having all the results posted on the, if you just go to the school webpage under basketball, all that stuff will be on there. But as far as immediately, if they need information, they can call 205-910-2062. I'll be able to answer any questions that they have, and we look forward to seeing everybody out there on Monday.
Okay. Coach Josh Golden, the head basketball coach of the Sylacauga Aggies. Coach, happy 4th of July to you and your family.
Thank you. Same to you and yours.
More on Daybreak in just a minute.